Get yourself a race car.
Got myself a race car. Now I got Zeus fasteners on my truck.
With rivets.
Right.
Pop rivet panels. Zeus fasteners. You're a race truck. Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've got race car. I mean, this thing runs 9s already. I'm out in the shop today. I got all the doors closed because it's actually a little windy and chilly out, which is just the best. I was so over this summer, and I can work in this environment for sure. And it's Sunday, and I'm gonna try to do a whole lot of work today. And I'll bring you guys along. Probably gonna be a lot of updates instead of like, you know, in-depth working on things, because I've got to get the wiring ran here, so I'm going to be working on that in a second, and then I'll show you guys how we're going to mount this panel here. So I went out and bought some supplies so we can get this hole cut out more and kind of get all that figured out so we can do our access panel. Obviously I've already pulled the bed off the truck so we can get some of this stuff done, because once this is done and back on the truck, drivetrain goes in and we start putting things together for good. So really not a whole lot left to do. I may try to bleed the brakes today as well, so I'll be working on that. But here we go. You know, let me get working on the wiring, and I'll show you what I get done, and then we'll move on to the bed. All right, well, I'm done, guys. As you can see, you guys can't see anything. I doubt it looks any different, and that's okay. But let me show you what I did. So what I did is I went ahead and ran all my wiring back. Got it nice and neat and contained. I'll show you what I got going on here. So you can see these wires are going into this little pocket there and then inside the frame. This is my battery cable. This is the Holly harness and the alternator wire. This is my fuel pump power wire, which is the 10-gauge wire. And they all go in this little hole right here. You can kind of see that I have some fuel line that I cut and kind of put in here just to give some added protection against some, you know, chafing that, you know, could mess up the wire, because I don't want a fire at all. I think that's a bad idea. There's a clamp right here that keeps everything nice and rigid, and so that's nice and protected. I did as much as I could. I even got a piece of fuel line that I cut in half here. It's kind of hard to see, but it just protects those sharp edges from cutting into the wires while the truck's moving and bouncing and whatever else it's going to do. So I'm pretty happy with all that. I rerouted my fuel pump wiring, so it comes from this side over, goes over the strap here down to the other side. It's actually already been there, but I cut a hole in this and put a grommet in there, so this is also protected from you know, vibration issues and cutting into the wire, so there's no stress on that. And then coming back here, I've got my power switch in place. It's not fully tightened out. I have some work to do, and then this big old bunch of wires here is just tied up out of the way, because a lot of that has to go through the bed or to the post that's on the bed to divert power. Last thing I did down here, this is my 30 amp breaker for my fuel pump wiring. And I got it on the inside of the frame now. I used to have some wires on the outside of the frame, and it made me nervous. Plus, some of them were attached to the bed. That's no longer an issue. So now we're good to go front to back. I can pull the bed off if I need to for whatever reason when I'm on drag and driver, but let's hope I never really have to do that. So all that wiring's done. I've had the fuel pump wiring over here for a while, and eventually I may move it, and this is where the relay is. It's not exactly weatherproof over here, I guess you could say, but it works and keeps everything in line here. So now I can bolt the bed on and not have to worry about pinching any wires Or I could pull it off if I need to. You know, that's kind of was my plan for that, because I didn't like how everything was ran previously. So pretty happy with all that. I gotta bleed the brakes next, so I'm gonna do that. But since it's such a fantastic day outside, and believe me, it is, I'm gonna go enjoy it with some friends and go get lunch with them and go for a little drive. So I'm gonna do that, and then maybe this evening come back to this and we'll start working on it some more. I'm hoping by the end of the week we'll have the bed on for good. So this is next. All right, let's get back on this thing. I believe I've already gone over the wiring with you guys. Another update is I have bled the brakes. I had 2 fittings that were a little loose, tightened those up, got all 4 corners to bleed. Pedal feels really, really good. So we're in good shape. The Dakota has brakes again, even though I ran all these new lines myself, and you know, wish me luck on that, because some I haven't ever done before. But that's part of this whole process, is doing things that I haven't done before, just like the transmission thing we did the other day. But now let's finish this up, because once this is done, we can put the bed back on the truck. So I need to kind of get an idea of where the panel is going to be for the fuel pump, and I'm pretty sure I've got it in a place where I want it. I may do some measurements here from here to here just to make sure we're pretty close to in line, and then all I'm going to do is mark it out. I'm going to try to drill some corners in the holes, and then we're going to cut it with the die grinder. So yeah, and it's kind of cool. I actually don't have to get into here. I can do it from here, I believe. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. So let me get measured, then I'll get to drawing the circle out, square out, oval out, whatever you want to call it, and we'll get started on all that. All right, I'm just gonna try to get this roughly centered here. I'm looking at 9 3/4 inches on this one. There we go, 9 3/4. All right. All right. So I'm gonna, there's a dip in it for the door, so I want to make sure we account for that dip. This line here, and then this line here. Same here. There we go. That die grinder is the best thing I have bought. It is incredible how fast that thing cuts. You got to be careful with it. So my cuts are not absolutely amazing, but I got the job done. And I'm probably going to clean it up and put some sealer on it here in a minute. But we're about to get ready to kind of start getting this thing in place. And then we're going to drill out a whole bunch of holes. It's going to be somewhat that easy, but I still have some other things I got to do. There's a hinge for that, for this deal, which I got to find. I don't remember where I put it. This is the Zeus fasteners. Okay, I found the rest of what I needed other than the seal, which I hope is in the house. It should be. Where'd the seal go? Anyway, I'm going to get everything lined up. And then I'm just gonna start drilling holes. There's really not much more to it than that. I'm gonna put a couple like bolts in that's gonna kind of hold it in place after I drill some catty corner holes, and then I'm gonna go around the whole perimeter. It's not gonna be too difficult, so here we go. Of course, I had to go back to Home Depot and buy some sealer because I don't know where I put the other stuff that I bought, but I'm hoping this will do the trick. This is just some foam. You can kind of see there's kind of thick there. The reason I'm doing that is because on these channels, obviously you've got a bit of a difference between here and here, and I kind of want it to get sealed up to try to keep some gunk and stuff out of it when you wash out the bed or whatever else that we're doing, or fuel getting into bed, I guess, maybe. But I'm going to use this stuff. Let me see how I'm going to figure it out to use it, and then kind of go from there. My plan right now is to just to stick it around the whole hole and then see if I can maybe come up from the bottom and drill through a couple of these, get it all located, and then start pop riveting it down. Alright, well, let me start putting all this stuff down as nice as it'll go. It's pretty thick and very sticky, so that's good. It's going to make it somewhat easy to apply. Here we go. Oh, and if I didn't, you can probably tell I went ahead and painted some sealer over this just to prevent any kind of corrosion if we can possibly do such a thing. So, yeah. This is for the Zeus fasteners, and it's going to go at the bottom. This is the hinge. There's two ways to do it. You can put it like this to where it'll fold all the way back, or you can turn it over to where it only folds like halfway, 90 degrees or so. And I want it to fold all the way back, so we're going to try to line it out over there like that. And then I'm going to drop it. Alright, let's try this again. Bingo. Alright. I have pop rivets. 3/8 pop rivets. And this ought to be fun, trying to figure out where they're going to go. Okay. Let's see if I can get the first one in there. There we go. There's one of them in. I have a whole lot more to do. But I want to get two in so then I can just drill the holes around and get everything set up. little dent in that one. Oh well. The rest of it will come down when we get it all in. Hopefully, it's not too big of a deal. So now, let me try to go down to this thing. Oh. Do a whole bunch more projects. All the rivets are on there. It's a little dirty, but just a little wavy, but it looks pretty good. And the seal's got a really good adhesive on it, so it's hard to get off. We got that done. Now the rest of it is actually just the rivets that it came with, which are these, and your Zeus fasteners. And I've never done this, so we're gonna have to see how this goes. I believe this goes underneath, but I don't know how. I gotta look this up and figure out how to do these. But once that's done, we're done. We're gonna put the plate on top of the hinge here and go ahead and rivet it down.
Line it up.
Yep. That makes more sense than the way we did it before, which isn't on camera. So, all right, there. How about them apples? Works a little better.
Yeah, feels better.
Feels good, actually. Nice. So now, you think we should try the little ones?
Yeah, I
Or
guess.
the big ones? Which one does it fit better on?
Well, I don't know. Do you use these two or these two?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know either. Okay. So what Greg just said makes sense. These two big holes here are for clearance for the Zeus fasteners up here. Small holes there are for the actual springs. Didn't that work?
Yeah.
We gonna make the other one work?
Yep.
Hallelujah. We might pretend we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Can you pull it up or no, it's up?
Oh no, yeah, it's gonna pull it up when
Sweet.
yeah.
Alright, we got about 4 more of these things and we're finally done.
Race truck.
Race truck. What you didn't catch there was me trying to put the wrong side in. There you go.
Alright, there you go.
Got plenty of stuff to poke ourselves with now too. Uh-oh. Huh? Seems okay.
That one sounded, I mean, it sounded weird, but it's got pressure on it.
Yeah, buddy. Now we get to be race car. You want to hit these or? Nice. Little box. Overall, this wasn't too bad. I mean, it's a little bit of labor for sure, but it's not that difficult. Sweet. Now, look at that.
Done.
Race freaking car, man.
Race car. You get yourself a race car.
Got myself a race car. Now I got Zeus fasteners on my truck.
With rivets.
Right.
Pop rivet panels. Zeus fasteners. You're a race truck, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've got race car. I mean, this thing runs 9s already just because I put those things on there. And no, not really. But hey, that was pretty cool. Got it done. Today is Friday, October 20th. Exactly 1 year ago, I pulled the bed off of this truck to start doing all the modifications that we've done. It would be extremely poetic to be able to put it back on for the last time and bolt it on down, but we're not going to do that. And well, that's okay, because what I've done is I've had a conversation with my buddy Greg, and we are talking about it and realized that I have to alter the tailpipe now. So when I put the motor and transmission back in, which it's ready to go back in other than a few things, we need to make an exhaust pipe all the way back out the back of the truck. Well, that's just going to be a lot easier to do with the bed off. Just point blank, that's just the truth of it all right there. So I've got the bed just kind of hanging out here like it was before. I've got it on a couple tires now instead of the cribs, because the cribs are into the Dakota, so we can start putting the drivetrain back in it. Yeah, it's time. We're ready to reassemble this thing. And it's been, like I said, a year, but it's been worth it. It's been a ton of work. We touched everything from the cab back that you could touch. And it's been a labor of love for sure. But my patience is starting to get to me a little bit, and I'm ready to finally get it back on the road and start driving it. It's going to have new suspension, front and rear. It's going to have a 4-speed 4L80E transmission, an 8.8 rear end, and it's just, I hope it's just going to be everything that I could imagine it to be. I'm just so excited to finally get this thing back on the road. So, yeah, we're done. We're done for now. I've got some stuff to do this weekend to prepare for the engine install and transmission install, because we're going to, I need to just check out some things, clean some things up and stuff like that. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to get back at it by putting on a new flex plate, putting the torque converter, the new Circle D converter in the 4L80E, and getting everything back in place. And then it's, you know, it's all the minutia and the details and the exhaust and the fuel system and putting all that stuff back together, which I'm hoping won't take me too long. So let's cross our fingers and hope that maybe I get the Dakota running by the end of November, which is, you know, just a little over a month away. Definitely, it's got to be running by the end of the year. So let's hope we get that done. I know I've been focusing a ton on the Dakota recently, but that's because we're nearing the end of this project, which this is a pretty substantial project. So there's been a lot of videos about it, but we're going to start getting to some of our other toys and doing some other side projects that we've had planned here pretty soon. So if you're new, it's not just all Dakota all the time. There is other stuff that we work on. We'd love to have you come hang out with us. Please consider subscribing and checking the projects out. We always got some kind of project going on, and probably will for quite a while, and we'd love to have you come along with us as we go over those projects. So yeah, consider subscribing. And we do social media, which is just Facebook and Instagram, and that's at the RacerX Garage, and we do some updates and stuff on there, so check that out as well. Quick note, I'm actually working on some merchandise. I have pulled the old shirts off of our website, which is racerxgarage.com if you haven't checked it out. There's not much there right now, so don't worry about it, but I'm looking at maybe getting some hoodies or some hats and some t-shirts, you know. So I'm hoping to have some sample orders in soon, and if they come out nice, well, I'm just gonna have to throw them up there and see if you guys, see what you guys think of them. So that'll be coming here before too long, and I'll need your opinions on that. So be sure to leave a comment and let me know what you think. Other than that, I'm gonna shut it down and I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my weekend. I hope you guys do the same. We'll see you next weekend. Until then, y'all know the deal. Y'all be good.